Boop, boop, boop. And we are live. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to some more Final Fantasy XIV. Continuing Sorin's journey through the game. And all our post-Shadowbringers experience. I thought I closed that. Away we go, chat box. So, recently cleared up Shadowbringers, the main story quests. Now we've got plenty of content to do afterwards. Last week, Sorin... Not last week, yesterday. Yesterday, Sorin was back to helping out with clearing up some of the remaining Sin Eaters, the Cardinal Virtues. You're helping out Giott with Sophorosyne. What remains of Lamitt, the white mage in Ardbert's party. But that's only half of them down. When you put that together with helping out Serik with Ardbert. So next, I was thinking of doing the tank quests. So let's go have a talk with Grandson over here. Hello there. I heard you were looking for help dealing with Sin Eaters. Can't say I've chatted with you before. Think I'd remember if I had. Seen your fair share of fighting, have you? You could say that. And wary besides. Rest assured, I've no secret designs. Name's Grandson, bounty hunter by trade. Mostly Sin Eaters. When I first laid eyes on you, I had a feeling you were a tough bastard. The sort that must get mistaken for that warrior of darkness folks have been talking about recently. That right? Well... of a sort. Hey, easy killer. I couldn't care less who you are or what you've done. The only thing I'm looking for these days is a like-minded partner. Someone willing to join me in the hunt for the biggest prize this side of Northrend. Prize? You're talking about one of the Cardinal Virtues? Thought that'd grab your attention. The Sophorosyne's the fiend I'm after. One of the so-called Cardinal Virtues, as folks are wont to call them. There were hopes that somehow the death of Valkyrie and the Wardens might have put an end to the Sophorosyne. But alas, no. Seems the rules that bind other Sin Eaters don't apply to the Virtues. Former Warriors of Light. The esteemed heroes who saved a realm a century ago. Dear old Brandon was one of them, I'm told. Stop me if you've heard all this before. Anyway, like his comrades, Brandon died in the process, only to return relatively recently as a Sin Eater. The better to torment we few who survived their mercy. Needless to say, I aim to put an end to all that. You've heard the pitch, so what's your answer? You interested in hunting Sophorosyne with me? I think I am. Not a whit of hesitation. I like you, Sinner. Nevertheless, I'll need you to humour me, and prove you're the dab hand I think you are, for my sake as well as yours. I've heard reports of stray eaters drifting close to the Crystarium. Come with me, and put my mind at ease. Right, another trial. But shouldn't be too difficult. This feels like something that calls for Ardbert's strength. I'm still getting used to the power he left me. It was fresh in my mind when I fought Lamitt Selk, Hades. But since then it's been getting fainter. I'll need to work on it in my own power now. There you are. Very good. The Sin Eaters we were after were sighted west of the Ascensor Gate, so we'll need to head through there before we begin our search. Oh, And if you happen to have any objections to killing eaters for sport, remember that many were once innocent people. You'll be doing them a favor putting them out of their misery. I have no problem taking out sin eaters. There's something that's been plaguing the First for too long. Well, this looks like the place. Might need to get rid of this guy first. Okay, Trivet. One more. Alright. Let's see what kind of eaters might be around here. Just the two. Deal with that. One more. There we go. Was that enough of a show for you? Good, clean work. This is clearly not your first time. Let's do this once more just to confirm it wasn't a fluke, though. Besides, the world could do with less sin eaters. Follow me. Shouldn't be much further. Right. Suppose he's right. If there's more about, no harm in dealing with them. There's a part of me hoped that all this would be over once the Light Wardens were taken care of. But I guess it was never going to be that simple, was it? Right. Let's make sure the road's clear. Oh, hello, Mooney. Welcome to the stream. You haven't missed too much. Just one this time. I can deal with it. One more. There. Is that enough to earn your approval? Yeah, that'll do. You're exactly the sort of man I've been looking for. And thank the gods for that. Oh, yep, the tank rule quests. And my apologies for subjecting you to such a silly test, but I'd rather not have an amateur's death on my conscience. Let's head back to the Wandering Stairs and make this official, shall we? Right. And off to find another of Ardbert's companions. And one step closer to the first being free of eaters. Grandson? So, just to make sure you're still keen on our arrangement, Sorin, will you join with me and hunt the dread fiend Giott and put an end to his accursed existence? I will. Excellent. Then it's settled. Now, every hunt begins with an investigation, and ours is no exception. The Giott can be a rather difficult eater to pin down. But before we commence ours, we would do well to attend to our respective preparations. Excuse me? Let me know when you are ready to proceed. One down. All set to embark on our great hunt, Sorin? I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Then let us be about it. Before you ask, I have no intention of leading us out into the wilds without even an inkling of the Giottine's whereabouts. Norvrend may not be a particularly large realm, even before the Flood, but it'd take us a dozen lifetimes to scour every nook and cranny. So we'll start by asking around a place I know for a fact the Giott has attacked before. The village of Wright on Clusia. While I don't have reason to believe he will return, I'd like to think that the survivors might know something of value. After all, you can be sure that they haven't forgotten the day the bastard came through. So, let us be off then. Right. I'd heard Wright had suffered a major eater attack, but... The son of Gra... I'm not quite sure. I don't know if they have the naming conventions like that in the first, or if it's just grandson. I hadn't realized the eater that attacked was one of the virtues. Well, here we are. Sorry to keep you, grandson. Welcome to Wright. I reckon it might not seem like much to you, but to me... never mind. We'll save that conversation for after. Tracking down the Giott is what matters right now. Let's split up and ask after the bastard. Better odds of turning up useful information that way, I'd wager. Right. Well, asking around for information's something I suppose I'm a bit of an expert at this point. Question is, who to ask? Where are the people I'm supposed to be asking? Go out in the field? Or... Sir? Is everything alright? What do you want from me? An expert at gaining intel and doing fetch quests. I'm here to ask about... I'd heard there was a Sin Eater attack a while ago. You wouldn't happen to know anything about it, would you? The Sin Eater? The one that came and killed everyone? Oh god, is he here? Why are you talking about him? Oh, I knew I should have stayed inside. There's nothing but death out here now. Death and horror and eaters and... Clearly I shouldn't have brought it up with him. Maybe look for someone who doesn't seem so scared? Hello, sir. Huh? Where did you come from? What do you want from me? I'm curious about a Sin Eater attack that I heard happened. Dude, distraught. Yep. The Giott? A thrice-damned eater that's the spitting image of a gadgeon knight? That the Giott? That's the one. I can't help you. All I know is that when he came here, he... Wicked White, if you had seen the carnage, you would... I'm sorry. I can't talk about this. That's okay, sir. Clearly it was bad. I get the feeling asking around is just going to cause trouble for the people here. Grandson? You didn't happen to find anything? Well, learn anything worth sharing? Not particularly. I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. What we saw that day, what he did to us, there's no moving on from that. As well as any Sin Eater would be. Yeah. This one just seems particularly bad. We? Us? Wait. Does that mean you were here, grandson? Sounds like you know what happened. Well, I was planning to tell you the whole story eventually, but I suppose now is as good a time as any. I was born and raised in Wright. Lacking any real prospects, I eked out a living as a hunter. Might have tried my hand at something more exciting had I not also been trying to provide for the love of my life, Melinda. It was about a year ago that she accepted a commission from this Ulmoran trader. Bloke dealt mostly in antiques, but he had this bracelet in need of restoration. Bloody old, with a questionable provenance, but supposedly it once belonged to royalty or some such. The Fangs of Orphus, he called it. Me and her had been talking about trying to tie the proverbial knot, buying land, building a home, that sort of thing. Around here that might not take much, but it was still a lot more than we had, so when the trader made his offer, she didn't hesitate to say yes. I'd gone down to the shipyards to pick up extra tools and materials she needed for the work. Quality stuff, but it'd pay for itself 10 times over. But when I got back to Wright, the Giott had been busy. I spied at least a dozen newborn eaters fluttering about, trying to make sense of their new lot. The grandmother who lived next door and shared the fruits of her orchard with us. The gruff woodsman who'd brought firewood to our doorstep in the dead of winter. Both of them reduced to mindless fiends. Just like that. There wasn't time to mourn or to think. I started looking for Melinda. And then there she was. Alive and well. Our eyes met, and we knew it was going to be alright. We ran for each other and... Even now, a year later, it doesn't feel real. One moment she was there, right there in front of me. And the next she was... The Giott knelt and took the Fangs of Orphus, then left, leading a host of sin-eaters out of Wright. But Melinda, I still couldn't see her as anything else. She wouldn't budge. She just hovered there and stared, waiting for me to end it. Well, I could never say no to her. Not once in the years we'd been together. For all the time she'd welcomed me home with a bowl of hot stew. All the time she'd laughed at my crude jokes and gave me counsel when I was losing my way. For all that and more, I killed her. Cranston. I swore then and there I'd have my vengeance. The Giott would die by my hand. I carved the scars on my flesh to mirror the ones he left on my soul. An enduring reminder of the vow that I never dare stray from the path. That's... And there, all done. No need to wallow in it. Wouldn't want my tragic yet trite tale to put you off our hunt. Still with me to the end, sinner? Yeah. That's the spirit. Still, I've got some unfinished business here, so if you could give me a moment before we resume, I would be most grateful. Of course. All the time you need. That's... It was hard enough for me and Alizé to fight Tesleen. I didn't really know her all that well. And she was actually fighting back. To have someone you love like that just stand there and wait for you. It's no wonder this is personal for him. Grandson? How are you doing? Sorry to have kept you waiting, sinner. I'm sure you're eager to get back to it, as am I. Trouble is, in your absence, I failed to turn up any information as to the whereabouts of the Chiasine. Well, that's a little bit of a problem. There is one line of inquiry I've yet to pursue, though. The Fangs of Orphus. The bracelet my beloved was supposed to restore, and that the Eater took with him when he left Right. Sin Eaters are mindless fiends driven only by base instinct. Everyone knows that. They've no need for worldly possessions. Yet the Chiasine took the bracelet away, which can only mean that there's something unique about this particular antique. Or the sinless bastard's somehow different from the rest of his ilk. The other virtues I've confronted all seem to act in ways that connected to their past lives. Interesting, they made a slang word to address each other. Dinner? Oh no. That's a very different game than you've got there. Either way, I think we need to learn more about the Fangs of Orphus. And I know just the man to ask. The Ulmoran trader who commissioned Melinda's services. Much as I'd like to question him myself, though, I don't think that's an option. Even though the Chiasine's attack a year ago is common knowledge, I doubt a trader will believe that an Eater stole his precious trinket. He's more likely to accuse me of theft and have me clapped in irons. So, I'm afraid you'll have to go in my stead, Sorin. Melinda said he was a regular at the Beehive, so try looking for him there first. Right. Back to Yulmore. Been a wee while since I've... Oh no, Sorin did have a brief visit last time. Technically, you're not they're dinner to Sin Eaters. They named themselves Prey. That's a very pessimistic nickname for everyone. Just, I suppose it's not actually too dissimilar because they're called Sin Eaters, so you call yourself sinners. You are calling yourself the prey of your opponent. Right, back to the Beehive. Wonder who I might be looking for. Hello, sir. And to what do I owe the pleasure? This is your company. Oh, the Fangs of Orphus, you say? Oh, very interesting. Do you know anything about them, sir? Oh, I should be glad to tell you everything that I know, under the assumption that should you recover it, you will see it return to its rightful owner at once. I purchased the bracelet from a traveling peddler who claimed it was a relic of Ardbert, that glorious kingdom that fell with the flood like so many others. Didn't tell him for 8 minutes. This has been going thanks Twitch. Yeah, Twitch is still being a little weird, isn't it? He spoke true from what I could tell, and I intended to sell it to a collector here for a tidy profit, after having it properly restored by an artisan in Right. Alas, she was one of several casualties of a Sin Eater attack, during which the Fangs of Orphus mysteriously vanished. I have, of course, been keeping in touch with several contacts on the off chance the thief might attempt to sell it. They have not, regrettably. But a piece of similar design did recently surface in Mordsuk, I'm told. I was planning to dispatch an agent to investigate, but you seem more than capable of fulfilling that role. As for incentive, you may be assured that any information that aids me in the acquisition of the Fangs of Orphus, or similar relics, will be well rewarded. Right. Thank you for the commission, I guess. Well... It's not much of a lead, but it's something. Maybe if this relic in Mordsuk does have some connection to it. Oh. We might be able to find more about it, the Fangs of Orthrus itself. For Ardbert, it was trying to save Tainer. For Lamitt, it was protecting the victims of Stoneblight and the exiles. What's this one after? So, what did our industrious patron have to say? Not too much, but... so he thinks it was stolen, eh? Just as well. We'd probably not know where to head next if it weren't for his wasn't for his distrusting nature. If this piece of similar design is related to the Fangs of Orthrus, then it might attract the Kayasine's attention, assuming it hasn't already. Let's go. Right. Hope we're not too late. Why target jewelry? Seems a little odd. Fine weather we're having today in Mordsuk, isn't it? No such thing as a thing without value. That's the creed of these folk. We'll find no shortage of Vobertide trinkets here. Finding the right one, on the other hand, is the challenge. I say divide and conquer, as before. Right. I've never seen the Fangs of Orthrus, though, grandson. I don't know what I'm looking for. I guess maybe they might recognize the name and know something similar? Maybe my reputation here will help me out. Hello. Well met, well met. How may I be of service to you? I'm here looking for some Vobertide artifacts. Possibly maybe belong to royalty? Oh ho! A choker that once belonged to Vobertide royalty, you say? If only I had such a remarkable treasure in my possession. But no, I do not. In all my years here, I have never even heard of someone unearthing such a thing. Never even heard of it. Maybe not something you plan to change a Keyless Forever cover? I don't, not really. I don't. The most well, now you bring it, maybe I would change it to a more kind of, like a darker brown. Like kind of an eagle's plumage. Because Aquila is the constellation of, I believe, the eagle? Yeah, it's eagle, not falcon. Hello. Yes, do you have business with me, traveller? I'm looking into some Vobertide relics. Ah, the Vobertide choker. Is that what all this fuss is about? Then you're in for luck. For my husband has yet to sell it. Once we realized how valuable it was, though, he insisted on carrying it with him at all times. If you're not willing to wait for him to return, you could try to find him at the ruins where he's scavenging for relics. They're not far. Right. So he's only recently come across it, and if he's outside this... He's outside the city by himself with something that might attract an eater. Grandson? What news, friend? I think I might have found a clue, but... Huh, to think it was that easy. You've the luck of the Fae. Well, yeah, maybe more than you might think. Oh, but we need to hurry. If my theory is correct, then so long as that scavenger has the choker, he's a target for Dikaiosine. Right, that's what I was thinking. Like to see the Choco's doing that big, yeah, the Choco kick. Get that nice damage over time. No, wait. The Choco kick's the stun, isn't it? I need to check that now. It's Choco Beak is the damage over time. Yeah, Choco Beak is damage over time. Where's kick? Oh, I don't actually have Choco kick. It's a tank skill. Right. Oh, please go away. Okay, you're not attacking me. That's happy enough. Right. Can't see anyone. Mercy! Mercy! That's... to take whatever you want, but please don't kill me. I have a family. That's him. Please, I beg of you. No. But that was the end of this. That's... He is after the choker. What? I'm sorry, friend. Please. Please. I'll do what I can. Why's Amarang got to be the why's Amarang got to be the depressing place? I'm sorry I couldn't be here sooner. We're so close to this all being over. Desserts ain't known for being hospitable? I always thought desserts were quite nice now. Grandson... Too late now. Shame you missed the fun. This one bit off more than he could chew. Probably because it was a newborn. You can tell by the lingering vestiges of intelligence and self. You can see it in their eyes. Like when Dikaiosine... Don't tell me. You saw him? Yeah, I was... too late. Wicked White! He took the choker too? Damn it. Damn it all! Can't keep getting away with it! He... can't keep getting away with it! It's just like right. I was too late to save him. Just like I was too late to save her. But not again. Never again. I'll hunt you to the end of the world, Dikaiosine. Vengeance will be mine. Right. Yes, neither time nor the place. More eaters could be about. Yeah, let's head back. Grandson? It's just... every time I cut one down, it reminds me of my first. Of her. grandson. This really is different from the last two. Need a minute there, grandson? Yeah. Giott and Sorin were just in it for the hunt. This is... Who's going to break the news to his wife? We may have failed to stop him this time, but what matters is that we'll both live to see another day. Pity the scavenger didn't, and the wife doesn't yet know she's become a widow. Sod it. I'll tell her what happened. I've been there, so maybe it'll help me to find the right words. Not that there ever are any. Afterwards, I'll have a good think about our next step. Don't let me keep you from your other affairs, Sorin. We'll speak again soon. Shirking off that responsibility on grandson. Sometime later, I imagine. Hey there, sinner. I broke the bad news to the widow of that scavenger while you were away. She took it about as well as you'd expect. After she'd cried herself hoarse, I started asking her about the choker and where her husband had got it. Seems he and his mates took a trip to Ilmeg a year or so back, hoping to cart off all the Vobertite treasures they could carry from an untouched ruin they'd learned about. Of course, in their greed, they neglected to account for the Fey folk who killed or drove mad most of them. I can understand that. Those who survived didn't come away empty-handed, though. In fact, they'd stumbled upon a remarkable find. 3 sacred treasures of the royal family. They escaped with 2. The Fangs of Orphus being one of them, which was sold by another scavenger to a Ulmoran. Either that merchant you met at the beehive, or an agent of his, I'd wager. So the merchant gives it over to Melinda for restoration, after which the Chiasine attacks right. Presumably because he's after it as well. Meanwhile, the scavenger here in Mortsuk keeps the choker, the Eyes of Orphus, locked away for safekeeping. And when he finally decides to sell it, the sinless bastard shows up again. Right. Which brings us to the here and now. Damned if I know why, but at this point there's no denying that the Chiasine's been hunting the royal relics. And so, assuming he hasn't already claimed a third one, the Claws of Orphus, did I say we should get our hands on it first, and use it to lure him out of hiding? But to that end, we'll have to venture into the Fairy Kingdom ourselves. And those scavengers didn't receive the warmest welcome, and we're not like to be treated any better. Well, before, when you mentioned I have the luck of the Fae, interesting story about that. Why does that not surprise me? Well, if you and the Fae have an understanding, perhaps we can traverse their lands without worry. That settles it then. We'll head to Ilmeg and ask after this Vobertite ring. Right. Hopefully the pixies won't give him too much bother. Well, he's not a bush, so... Grandson? What a remarkably uneventful trip. I kept jumping at shadows, waiting for eaters or foul demons or worse to attack. Though, that might be preferable to the Fae, frankly. Each Cardinal Virtue had their final battle in the play. So, yeah. Yeah, or at least fairly close, kind of like in their homeland, almost. I suppose except for Renderay. Because Brandon was... Yeah, he was of Obertite, like Ardbert. Lamitt lived in Tomra, and Ardbert was from... what was the place called? Nabafareng? Still, we're going to have to deal with them eventually if we're going to find this ring. After all, the new Mo were part of Obertite society, and without their help, I'm not sure where to even begin our search. Perhaps there's a village of some sort you can guide us to. Well, there's a place called Plany, up in the mountains to the north. New Mo lived there. Plany, eh? Well, lead on, sinner. Alright. Yeah, her final... Yeah. That's what I was saying, like, for Renderay, it's not her homeland. Because I think it's kind of implied her homeland is closer to Amarang. Hello there. Oh, something about your demeanor bespeaks a question unasked. Have I the right of it? I'm actually here to ask about something called... the Claws of Orphus. A ring that belonged to the royal family of Vobert. It was called the Claws of Orphus. But Vobert is long gone, as are the caretakers of the ring you seek. Who can say where it might have got to? I suppose that's a fair point. Hello again, Lalul. Oh, hello there. You have questions for me? I'm looking for something called the Claws of Orphus. The Claws of Orphus. It is a ring, you say? The name I have heard before, but I know nothing save that. Oh, Sulol served the royal family before the flood. Somewhat temperamental they are, but surely they will have knowledge of this treasure you seek. Thank you. I'll maybe go let Granson know. We'll save him wandering around asking everyone. Granson? Had yourself a conversation or free? Learn anything interesting? Well, apparently there's a new Mo here who used to serve the royal family. So this Sulol folk... Oh, so this Sulol is the one we ought to speak of, eh? A former servant of the royal family, which would mean they've lived well over a century. Fucker me. Yeah. The Fae do seem to be fairly long-lived. Right. Oh. Who's pinging me on Discord? Give me a moment. I should be on... Discord should be on stream mode. Good old meta. There we go. Oh. Need to minimize that quickly. And packed things. I do not know you, yet you seem to know me. The echo. The fifth was discovered yesterday. A young girl not yet of age, transformed into a misshapen beast like the others before her. That's... as if we needed more proof of a pattern. At this rate, any citizen could be next. Tell me you at least learned something from this one. I studied her remains myself. It was plain a powerful magic had been employed. Vestiges of the enchantment lingered long after. The culprit, I think, is not a man to be trifled with. That is all I can say for now, but you may rest assured that I will ascertain their identity ere long. On my honor as court mage, I swear it. Until I do, however, I would implore you and your fellow knights to dispatch any who turn or show signs, without hesitation. But these are our kith and kin. Should we not try to keep them alive until a way to reverse their transformation can be found? Your mercy would place countless others at risk. As a knight of Ardbert, did you not vow to serve all her people? Justice for the weakest among us, was it not? How many such innocents will die before you do what must needs be done? It pains me deeply, Brandon, but the safety of the royal family is paramount. I feared that to take anything less than the most drastic measures would be to invite death into this castle. Oh, who's this? Death is already here. Surely you must see that. Oh. I will not let it be whispered that Princess Soldia turned a blind eye to her people's suffering. These crimes are a tragedy that weighs upon every Ardbertite's soul, mine most of all. And that is why I will take charge of the investigation myself. Oh, my lady, be reasonable. You cannot put yourself in harm's way. You have a responsibility to your subjects. So am I to gamble with their lives instead? Let them shield me while I alone take shelter and look down on them from on high. Yes, exactly. You are their princess. You are Brandon, yes? The new recruit? A rather promising one from what the captain has told me. You will attend me personally. My lady? You heard me. I will not stand idly by when I have the power to make a difference. Together, we will see justice done for all, as your vow and your princess demand. Lady Soldia, I understand. Forgive me my hesitation. My life and my sword are yours to command. I have great expectations for you. I trust you will not disappoint me. Right. There's no telling when our culprit will strike again, so we must begin our investigations at once. There are witnesses to be questioned, clues to be gathered. Come, come. Now, Lady Soldia! Lady Soldia! Ever the stubborn child. I wish you the best of luck, Brandon. You will need it and more. That was... Sewell knew Brandon himself? Hey, are you alright? Yeah, I just... The way you are holding your head, as if racked by a terrible pain. What happened to you just now? That's, I have this gift. Lady Soldia? You saw her with your mind's eye. Then it is as I suspected. You have the gift too. You are like Brandon. Brandon could... He had the echo? What do you mean he's like Brandon? Why have you come to me? What is it that you seek? We're here on the trail of the Sophorosyne. A sin eater in the form of Brandon. I see. And for this hunt of yours, you have come to Ilmeg in search of the Claws of Orphus. I am afraid this is no simple matter. First, I would know that you are capable of facing the eater you seek. Right, I've been through these fair share of trials, so just tell me what you need. There is a spot in a river not far from here in which I used to bathe, until a number of beasts grew equally fond of it. If you are the warrior you claim to be, they should pose no challenge whatsoever. Right, sounds easy enough. As for you, I have questions. Well, this is the Numo way, grandson. You can't ask for something without providing reparation. Well, down to the river. At least, it looks like the rain stopped at least. And off we go. Okay. This is the spot. Just to see what kind of wildlife is waiting around. That's... this wasn't the type of wildlife I was expecting. And here we go. Not too much of a problem. Well, the soul should be happy enough at least. Wonder what kind of questions they had for Brandon, though. Grandson. Oh, the beasts are no more, then. All dealt with. Oh, good. I hadn't the heart to do it myself, for they were no ordinary beasts, but old friends who had survived the flood. Victims of the curse you heard us speak of in your vision. They were? So, this curse transforms people into monsters. Like how Sin Eaters can spawn more of their own kind. I will speak no more of this or other matters until after you have completed the task I set before you. This is not negotiable, grandson. Sorin accepted my terms, and so must you. So secretive to both of you. Can't we all just speak plain? Your comrade refuses to acknowledge his situation. This may take time, but I am patient. Indeed, I have dealt with many a stubborn child in my life. It's kind of just a new way of doing things, grandson. Oh, you've returned. They made me go and gather a bunch of strange mushrooms, so hopefully we can finally get some answers. Well, has grandson fulfilled your expectations? Exemplary timing, Sorin. 'Twas not more than a moment ago that grandson returned, having at last obliged my humble request. Humble request, my arse. This one's no better than a Yulmoran aristocrat, so accustomed to making others do their bidding. I tell you, there's something off-putting about taking orders from a dog. Grandson, ere you continue and give me cause to reconsider aiding your hunt, perhaps you should ask your questions. Fine. Sorin said he saw a vision of you and Brandon looking thick as thieves. Your friends, eh? Know what he's up to now? Brandon is dead. He died a century ago. together with his comrades in an attempt to halt the flood that they themselves set in motion. I presume you speak of the eater that took possession of his corpse. Dikaiosine, aye, but unlike most eaters, he's been doing more than roam about aimlessly. For some reason, he's been hunting down royal treasures of old Ardbert, and he's been killing anyone who got in his way. Is he now? What irony. Even in death, he remains a slave to duty, a knight brave and true. He's a murderer, and I won't hear it said otherwise. He ruined my life, killed my beloved right before my very eyes. Every night I go to bed dreaming of the day I'll take my revenge. Oh, I see. Truly, you have suffered a terrible loss. But while your thirst for vengeance is quite natural and understandable, it is ultimately misguided. Unusual behavior notwithstanding, the Dikaiosine is nevertheless no more than an eater. To hate him is to hate the sea that claims the ship, the disease that steals the child, the tremor that topples the home, the mindless force of nature that begets destruction, driven by fragmented memory. Don't you dare make excuses for him. You think I wanted any of this? I grew up on a farm, could barely wield a sword, and now I've got to kill one of the bloody Cardinal Virtues. Hate and anger and vengeance are all I've got now. My every waking moment is dedicated to plotting his death. It has to be. It has to be. So just tell us where the goddamn ring is, and we'll be on our way. This is how it has to be, Who you have to be. Nay, I think not. You ask too much. Demand far, far too much. And in exchange for what? This I cannot abide. Are you trying to barter with me, you little shite? Tell me what I want to know or I'll beat it out of you. Grandson, I would... Back off, Sorin. I won't let anyone or anything stand between me and Melinda's murderer. Brandon was a dear friend. To know that an eater disgraces his flesh and his memory pains me more than I can well express. It would bring me great comfort if you were to grant him peace. I should like to share with you a story, if you would be so kind as to join me in Giott. The castle? Tis it better have a point. Grandson, I can't say I don't understand where his anger's coming from, but I think Sulol has a point. If that anger and hate is all he has left, what happens after this? Getting the feeling Grandson needs help with more than just fighting a Sin Eater. Why are we here again? Well, I suppose we'll find out. Sulol? It's been a while since I was last here. It is beautiful, even now. A palace of forgotten dreams. But before it was Giott, in the time of Ardbert, it was Gruenslicht. The memory of mine in which you walked was of a troubled time, when the people of our kingdom were preyed upon by an ambitious fool. Brandon, then a young knight who had only just won his spurs, had caught the eye of Princess Soldia, who chose him as her personal guardian. However, He was far too inexperienced, and was unable to keep her safe when she ventured outside these walls on one of her investigations. For his failure, he was stripped of his knighthood, and shortly thereafter he quit Ardbert. I thought I would never see him again. But then, one day, he returned, one of several wandering adventurers led by a man named Ardbert, who had accepted our invitation to look into the mysterious transformations, which had continued unabated in Brandon's absence. Lady Soldia was overjoyed, and for a time it was like nothing had changed. They spoke often and grew even closer. Even after he joined Ardbert. And then came the day when we learned the truth. When we learned that the architect of our kingdom's suffering was none other than the court mage, Tadric. The court mage, that was... I guess I'm about to find out. It's him, Brandon. I'm sorry. So am I. Come, let's have done with it. Been a while since I saw this hall. It was you, Tadric! Do not deny it! Tormenting our people, twisting and transforming them into monsters. And for what? Brandon. After I took such pains to be rid of you. You may strip me of my titles, but not my oaths. I shall serve Lady Soldia till my dying breath. Oh, as you like. Once I have killed you and your friends, there will be no one left to stop me from claiming the throne. Hear me, my children. The hour of reckoning is at hand. Rejoice, for a noble sacrifice shall you find everlasting glory. On his own people? Lord Tadric, it hurts. Soon you shall know no more pain. What kind of magic is that? I was going to make it quick, for old time's sake. But now I think I ought to take my time. Here we go. I've got swashbuckler combo, AoE combo, buff, heal, and interject. Oh, look at this. Alrighty. Come, my children, render up your lives for your master. For all your crimes and more, you will pay. The direct approach isn't working. Your feeble tricks are no match for my magics. He's drawing upon the Aether of his thralls. Kill them! Poor bastards. That's what you get for trusting a court mage. Brandon, bring them all in close. Alrighty. Such an incredible display of strength. The stuff of legends. There's no escape, Tadric. Surrender. Ooh. While I still have so many lives at my disposal, I think not. Another one. Oh. Come, children. In death shall your minions' lives gain glorious purposes. I'll defend Lamitt. Brandon, go to Ardbert. Alright. Now, burn bright for me and die! 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 How many more must die for your vanity? These enemies are tanky. You are most tenacious, but everyone has their limits. That attack's too much for any one person to take. We have to stand together. Understood? Oh. Your end is nigh. No sacrifice is too great to claim what is by rights mine. Rise, my children. Rise and defend me. Tadric! Really are pretty tanky here. Surely no one can harness such a massive torrent of ether. Oh, such obedient children to offer up their lives in sacrifice. And repentant to the lost. This madness dies with you. Any more of them. What is life but a medium for my magics? How much longer can you hold the line, I wonder? Whoop, that's new. Bastard's keen to drag this out. We can't keep this up forever. I mean, we're surviving. Bring him to Ardbert. Everyone, now's our chance to turn the tide. I have still a few hours in my quiver. I had hoped to refrain from such drastic measures. Brandon, bring them all into the center like before. Easy enough. Come on, you two. Here we go. See that, Tadric? You're next. Oh, time to fin the herd. Starting with that dwarf, perhaps. Don't touch her, you bastard! Brandon, we have to defend Lamitt at all costs. Oh. My health got a little low there. I tire of these theatrics. Let us end this farce here and now. Oh, big boys. This castle will be your tomb. Oh, as big as they are, they're not actually that strong. He's channeling a vast quantity of ether. Whatever he's prepared, we cannot let him finish. You heard Lamitt. We have to stop him. Don't ask for mercy, Tadric. You won't get it. Come on, Ardbert. I know you're better than to not dodge mechanics. Come on. The last voice I was just waiting for. Now, make my monster grow. Good old Power Rangers. What I wouldn't give to get to be a Power Rangers villain. Meddlesome wretch! This kingdom is by rights mine! Brandon? What is the meaning of this? Tadric, you... But why? After serving us faithfully for so many years. I am no servant! No servant! Not of your mother, or father, or you! Wait... He... My lady! God damn you! Lady Solia, speak to me. Brandon, my dear, brave Brandon, am I your princess still? Would you honor your vows even now? Now and ever after, my lady. My sword is yours to command. That as well. Would that I had the strength to wield it myself. Steel your heart, brave Brandon. And for the good of Ardbert and her people. No, no, no. I cannot. I will not. Honor your vows to your kingdom. To your princess. To your friend, who never doubted you, who knew that you would return and see justice. Justice. No, it should be me. Brandon, my sword now and ever after. We've rounded up the rest of Tadric's co-conspirators and tossed them into gaol. The ones who hadn't been corrupted by his magics, that is. A crystal of light. What was... Who's she? She seems to have been with Ardbert the whole time. She wasn't there when they came to the source. I'll not hesitate again. No matter the cost. No matter the sacrifice. That was... Right, where were we? Well, you saw what happened? I did. It was... Wicked White. She begged him to do it. Like Melinda. Come, let us quit this place and return to Pliany. Right. Doing okay, grandson? Close that down. Brandon. Didn't get a break. I wonder how Granson's feeling hearing all that. It was kind of... I suppose it would kind of resonate with him. Even if he wouldn't want it to. Do you know why I entered into the royal family's service many long years ago? Because when I was attacked by a wild beast which nearly tore me to shreds, it was Lady Soldia who came to my rescue. She saved me, and that is a debt that can never be repaid, for there is naught in this world which holds greater value than life itself. Not even her death absolves me of it, and so I must always first consider her wishes, her desires, what she would want for me and her kingdom, for Brandon, and yes, even for you, grandson. For me? To define oneself in opposition to the other, an other bereft of complexity of nuance, wholly devoid of redeeming qualities, a villain. Indeed, there is comfort and certainty in hatred, but it is a false and fleeting comfort. Bought with lies, we tell ourselves about who we are, what we must be, what we must do. And never you mind the cost. If anything, the more we offer up in sacrifice, the better. Do you not see? Brandon was right to hesitate, to doubt. The unwavering blade cares not whom it serves nor who it cuts. I think I need a moment. Perhaps you do as well. Leave us for now, Sorin. Right. I'll stick around, but I'll give you some space for a bit. Again, a little bit later. The final one. Level 80. Grandson, I have given you ample time to consider the path that has brought you here, and where it invariably leads all who walk it. I didn't know what to do after I lost Melinda. How to mourn her or how to live. I felt that if I put it all into Chiasine, I put my everything into the hunt, then at least I wouldn't have to think about myself or what comes next. I wanted to hollow myself out and fill up that hole with hate, forget who I was, and a irony of ironies. That's just what the poor bastard tried to do himself a century ago too, isn't it? Hard men, making hard choices. What rot. What's... See, I feel this is kind of like Sorin... Like, what Sorin's more motivation is here is to grant Brandon peace. So, yeah, I think this is probably the... That means you know what it's like, right? Maybe. Still, nothing's no more than a mindless eater. Nothing it can say or do to make it right. So, I'll finish the hunt. For Melinda, and for Brandon. And then, I'll move on. Move on, you say? I can't live off hate. Shouldn't have made it this far, frankly. And the more I tried to reach for it, the more I find... sorrow? Pity? Curse not fate, but mourn her victims. Remember the dead as they lived. Aye, something like that. Reckon Sorin would agree. And Melinda, if she were here, would probably slap me a dozen times, call me a bloody fool for acting the way I have. Or maybe you've been thinking about doing that in her stead, eh? Oh, I'd not go quite that far, but... Apologies for treating you with such disrespect before, Sewell. I'd like to claim I finally understand what you've been trying to tell me all this time, but I'm still getting my head around it. Recognizing your faults is the first and most important step. I will tell you what I know of the claws of Orpheus. The ring, together with the bracelet and choker, were three relics passed down through the royal family over generations, signifying the owner's right to rule. Princess Soldier was the last of her line, and after her death, they were stored in a sanctuary for safekeeping. However, a year ago, a band of thieves learned of its existence. The ones who stole the fangs and eyes of Orpheus. Yes, the relics were concealed with magical wards. I can only presume that once they were spirited away, the Chiasine was then able to sense their presence. Even in death, a slave to duty, you said. You think he pursued the thieves out of an instinctive loyalty to his princess? That I do. After all, he was content to leave them be so long as they remained hidden. Only 2 of the 3 were taken. Then the 3rd is still... Claim the claws of Orpheus, and he will surely come for you, yes. Oh, this is... Tim Giess is where you must go. Once you arrive at the place I marked on your map, cast this powder into the air. The glamour will fade, and you will see the chest with the ring. The rest is up to you. Thank you, Suol. Thank you, Suol. I promise we'll bring your friend peace. With me, sinner. Right. One more battle. And may you find peace as well, child. Where are we going? Oh, one of the awkward places that's not close to anywhere. I guess this is it. It's good to see at least the grandson's seeming more positive. Yeah, I could understand his anger, but he's right as well that you can't live off something like that. Point that Suol marked out is somewhere around here. I wonder if Granson's found it first. Oh, looks like it. This the place? This should be the place. You've got the powder on you, right? I do indeed. Well, here we go. You toss the powder into the air, and as it slowly settles to the earth as twinkling motes of light, a coffer begins to take shape. Well, here it is. This must be the claws of Orpheus. All that's left is to decide when and where we want to confront the Eater. Right. I suppose the others did take some time before he showed up. I guess we don't have that luxury. Dikaiosine. Brandon. Or we could deal with it here and now. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Hey there, old man. I don't know you, and you don't know me. But I know your story. I know this isn't you. And I know that if Lady Solia was here, she'd say the same thing. It'll all be over soon, I promise you. Oh, nearly all tank classes present for this one. Come, let's put the poor bastard out of his misery. Oh, let's get the chat window up so I can... Oh. Alright. They're all strong, but none of them are invincible. All I need to do... just keep fighting. What's... Oh, that doesn't look good. Yep. Doesn't look like something I want to get hit by. This is... What? How did he do that? What is that? Grandson, I'd not stand so close. Me? Well, that's hardly fair. Hold on, sinner. Can't move. This is surprisingly complicated. Still with me? I think so. That's different. Alright, more spheres. Oh, that's not the same as last time. Alright, get behind him. Trying this time. Something doesn't smell right. Stand back! Careful. Ow. This is not great. Tough old bastard, isn't he? I'm no slouch myself. More spheres. Okay. Getting there. Oh, careful. Do this. Oh, come on, not again. Gotta watch out for that. Oh, Brandon? Work together. I think the morning caught up. Apologies, Mooney. Oh, good right, I felt that one. Thanks. Ooh. All right. No, that was wrong. Careful, grandson. Go. Ow. There we go. One more. Just a little further. Did it. Ended up napping a little. Yeah, at least you got some sleep in there. did it. I think. Damn eater. Let him go. He's not your bloody puppet. We did it. Finally. Are you watching, Melinda? This crystal of light. Last time this... If the same thing happens, then... Yeah. Something left. Now and ever after, my Lady Soldia. My sword is yours to command. Brandon? He's still in there? It's memories. Feelings, I think. Excuse me. I'll not hesitate again. No matter the cost. No matter the sacrifice. Wait, is he trapped in the memory still? You're wrong, Brandon. That's not what you would want. Let go of your anger. Let go of her. That's... But that would make me lesser in your eyes, wouldn't it? To shoulder a burden that need not be mine. No. I will not forsake compassion and love. I will not dishonor your memory. Oh, my Lady Soldia. At least it wasn't a loud sneeze. I have my blanket to muffle it this time. Improvised sound dampening. He's gone. Do you have her treasures? And with that, the three treasures of the royal family are reunited. Now we've just got to find a place to stick them so that no scavenger ever stumbles upon them again. Least we can do for the princess and her knight, am I right? You're right. Let's see what we can do about those. Maybe Sol will have some ideas. Let's head back to Pleione. Alright. Back to Pleione indeed. Hopefully Sol does have some idea. I don't know if we can quite hide him back in that same coffer again after all. Is it done? Brandon has been laid to rest? You saw us when we arrived. Do you really have to ask? It's all done, Sol. No, I suppose not. Oh, my dear friend, I pray you have found peace. And what of you, grandson? Has the turmoil in your heart subsided at last? I suppose so, though. To be honest, it felt like I made my peace with him before we even fought. Because you finally saw him for what he was, and accepted that truth into your heart. The battle was but an afterthought. Huh. Easy for you to say. You didn't have to cross blades with the bloke. By the way, I've brought you some gifts. The 3 royal relics of Ardbert. Then Brandon was safeguarding both the bracelet and the choker. And now it's your turn to look after the whole lot. That's what Lady Soldier and her knight would have wanted, I reckon. Yes, of course. That their souls may sleep soundly forevermore. We shall enshrine these relics for all eternity. Now that that's settled, I suppose we should be on our way. There's a detour I'll have to take, but afterwards, I'd like to speak with you back at the usual spot in the Crystarium. Right, at the usual spot? Where we first met? We haven't really been back to the Crystarium since then. We will, Solo. It's not like Giott, who was returning there every other day to drink. I think that one has a bright life ahead of him. Few can find the strength to overcome such terrible tragedy. But he did. As have you, on no few occasions, I am sure. Well, I suppose I've had my fair share of rough times. It has been a pleasure, Sorin. But do visit me should you ever yearn to hear an old fool prattle on and on. I'll keep you in mind, Soul. You look after yourself. Back I go. Yeah, I'm better off just using the Aephorite, aren't I? Boop. Alright. There he is. You sure you don't want to sit down at a table, Grandson? Well met, Sinner. Glad to see you made it back safe and sound. Having returned to where it all began, I can't help but think back to when I first came here, thinking only of the Chiasine and my revenge. I was so wrapped up in my own personal affairs that I didn't realize I was only pushing others away. Leonard was the only one who saw through the facade. He's a perceptive one, aye. Took one look at me when I got back and broke into a smile. But enough about him. I have yet to thank you properly, Sorin. I owe you so much for sticking with me to the end. It's no problem. But with all that over, what's your next plan? What you do from here? Good question. I can't say I feel at home here or in Wright or anywhere else, so I might spend some time on the road. I may not be as skilled a fighter as you, but I reckon I'm better than most. And there's always someone in need of a reliable sword hand. There always is, isn't there? Melinda would want me to use my talents for a noble purpose. And helping folk in need fits the bill. Else, isn't that what Brandon and his comrades wound up doing in the end? So, let's not call it a goodbye. Let's just say, until the next hunt. Until the next hunt. See you around, Grandson. Grandson? Wheresoever you go, may you find shade, Sinner. You too, Grandson. I hope you're doing well as well, Ardbert. Just one more. And there we go. Okay, yeah, having done it again, going back to the question you asked me yesterday, Mooney, about what my favourite of the rule quests was. Yeah, tank's kind of overtaken healer again now that I've remembered the story of the tank rule quests. I have to admit. Ooh, so that leaves only one left. Physical DPS. So I actually have a choice for this one: Dancer or Samurai. I'm tempted to go Samurai just because I've got better gear for Samurai, which will speed up some of the normal combat. Good old vengeance story. But that leaves just one left, which will be... I'm tempted to just say, I'm going to be back on Monday for it. Maybe I should have Persona 3 on Monday. I'll maybe have a wee see. I'll maybe see what your stream schedule is, Minnie, what days you're streaming Persona. So I can plan my sleep schedule. Because I think my next one might go on a little longer. Because once I've done the physical DPS, I want to go into and do the shared role quests. But I feel they're not particularly long, so I'd like to do that all in one stream. So that might go on a bit later. I'll have it planned, but what I'm doing by Monday. And then once the role quests are done, it's on to Eden, which is something else I'm looking forward to, is revisiting the Promise of Eden storyline. And once we've, well, at least the first parts of it, something I have to check though is, where do I have to progress the MSQ to get access to Dark Apocalypse? Or is it somewhere here? There's a quest there, Almost Afraid. Gossipy Dwarf, that's... What about Comra? Doesn't seem to tell me anything. See, this is the problem. Like, if it is tied to any of these quests, run it. Your tribal quests, I think. Yeah. Was it in Yulmore? Or is it... I feel it might be this one, because it's a blue quest. And it takes you to Comra. Because I know it's to do with stuff that happens. Yeah, I think it's this one leads you on to Dark Apocalypse. Because I don't think... I couldn't see anything else here in... Yeah, that's just yet another striking opportunity. Academia Anida. Ooh, that's... You picked up that quest into Derelicts? Oh, of course, there's an Ondo up here looking for... No, but that's side content that I'm probably not going to spend on a stream. But yeah, anyway, point is, plenty more content in Final Fantasy XIV. This view is entirely unrelated to everything that was going on this stream, but sure, it's a view. So, yeah. No stream tomorrow, because it's Sunday. I don't stream Sundays. Schedule will hopefully be up Monday before my stream. I've not been doing a great job at remembering to do it early. My schedules, they tend to go up like an hour, half an hour before I stream. On Mondays now, but yeah. If you enjoyed watching, you can follow me on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube. YouTube's where my schedules get uploaded. But regardless of what you decide to do, thank you so much for coming along. I really hope you enjoyed. And until the next time I see you, I hope you have a good evening, have a good night, and goodbye.